Hi, good afternoon everybody. I'm Dr. Anjali Gupta. I'm a senior consultant with Cloud9 Hospital, Noida. I'm a gynecologist and obstetrician. I welcome you all to today's session of Facebook Live, the topic for which is first pregnancy checkup. So that now you've missed your period or your pregnancy test is positive, you know that you are pregnant and it's time for you to visit your obstetrician. Congratulations! You're going to embark upon the most wonderful journey of your life, that is pregnancy and motherhood. A good antenatal care, that is checkups during pregnancy and care during pregnancy by your gynecologist, is very important so that you carry on a healthy pregnancy, deliver normally and deliver a healthy baby. For that, you have to go to your doctor for regular checkups during pregnancy, get the advised blood tests, ultrasounds done, and take the required medication and follow a healthy lifestyle. All the visits during pregnancy with your doctor are very, very important. Take them seriously. But of all the visits, the first visit is the most important. It is probably the longest visit of all the antenatal visits you have with your doctor. It is the most comprehensive and most detailed visit because in this visit your doctor inquires about your well-being, your medical illnesses, your health issues which can have a bearing on your pregnancy, and an effort is made to make sure that the pregnancy you are carrying is healthy. So accordingly all the tests are advised and accordingly the medicines and food supplements are advised to you. You should plan a visit to your doctor as soon as you know that you are pregnant. Don't be afraid to visit a doctor. It will be a simple physical checkup, some question answers or maybe a lot of question and answers. Some tests will be advised and some ultrasounds will be advised. And advice regarding to general food intake, exercise, physical activity would also be advised. So you all should schedule your visit as soon as you missed your period. Another important thing is carry all the details of your previous pregnancies, if any, with you, whether they are abortions or whether they are deliveries. Any medical records, whether of irregular periods or of any gynecological problems, any ultrasounds or blood tests done previously. If you had any medical illness in the past or at present you are suffering from any medical illness, you should take all the records with you. Take all the details of medications which you have taken in the past or if you are taking at present also. You should carry the details and preferably the samples of the medicines also so that your doctor can know what all medication you are on. It is important to take a detailed family history also and details of the previous child also in case the child is suffering from any significant disease. When you are going to your doctor, it is good and important that you note down all your queries on a piece of paper or save it in your mobile in your notes and take to your doctor so that you don't miss out on asking your queries with the doctor, because the best time to ask the queries is when you are face to face with your doctor. That is the time you should clear all your queries. So all the best for your pregnancy journey, and here we embark on this antenatal care. So now we are here for this session of Facebook, which is the first pregnancy visit or first visit of the antenatal care. I think we can start with the questions. The first question is, last morning I was experiencing morning sickness similar to the one I felt during my pregnancy. First pregnancy. I am also 8 days late on my pregnancy. Is it the right time to take a pregnancy test? Yes, you can take a pregnancy test, that is the home pregnancy test, what we call as a urine pregnancy test. You can take it as soon as you have missed your period. These tests are usually very sensitive and they are positive even if you do it even on one missed day of your period. So if you are 8 days late already, you can take this pregnancy test and especially if you're having this morning sickness and feeling of nausea and vomiting, which is one of the most important symptoms of early pregnancy. Can a doctor please inform me which time to take the pregnancy test is most suitable? Any time of the day you can take the pregnancy test, but the sensitivity of the test is maximum, especially if it is done very early in the pregnancy, that is within a day or two of your missed period. Then the best time to do it is the first morning sample of urine, because that time the urine is concentrated and the levels of the pregnancy hormone are highest in the urine. So the chances of any false negative coming in the test is least possible. So the best time is early morning, that is first urine sample. Otherwise, if you have missed that time, you can take it any time of the day. What is the right time, place and temperature? Does all this really matter to get pregnant? Because we are planning to have a baby. See, there's no right place and right temperature to plan and get pregnant. However, yes, you can time your pregnancy. Pregnancy occurs at the time when the egg is released from the ovary, which we call as ovulation, and at the same time within 48 hours of ovulation, if you have an intercourse and the sperm fertilizes the egg, then you become pregnant. So the best time to have sexual relationship, to plan your pregnancy, is during this peri-ovulatory time, that is around the period of ovulation, which is approximately around the mid-cycle time. Suppose if your periods are regular and the cycle duration is 28 to 30 days, then the best time to have sexual relationship to get pregnant is between around 13th day to 16th day of your menstrual cycle, counting the first day of your menses as the first day of the cycle. So that is the time you should have relationship to get a fruitful result. My girl uses pregnancy check kit after 3 days of missed period and the test is negative. Is there any chance of getting pregnant? Normally the cycles are regular. If the ovulation occurs around 14th day of pregnancy, 14th day of menstrual cycle, and the intercourse also takes around that time only, then if a test is done after, and in case the girl has conceived, then if the pregnancy test is done after 3 days of missed period, then it should come positive. But sometimes the ovulation can be delayed because of irregular cycles, or it is a delayed conception because of delayed ovulation. Then you can wait for 3 to 4 more days and repeat a pregnancy test. You can use a pregnancy test kit. If that comes negative again, but you are suspicious of pregnancy, then you can get a blood test of beta HCG, that is known as beta HCG blood test, and then that will confirm your pregnancy. Hello doctor, I am suddenly having so much of leg pain and sometimes back pain, and I am getting tired nowadays and I feel cramps in stomach. I have a doubt of pregnancy. I check it in the kit but it's negative, but doubt is still there. So the most important thing is, have you missed your period? And what is your normal period cycle? If your normal period cycle is regular and you have missed your period but your kit is coming negative, then wait for 2 to 3 days and again repeat that urine pregnancy test kit. If it comes positive, is fine. If it comes negative but you're still having lot of cramping, back pain and abdominal cramps, then it is better to rule out pregnancy by getting a blood test of serum beta HCG done, so that there is no doubt. How soon do I need to see a doctor if I am pregnant? If you are pregnant, as soon as you miss your period, and these days most of the people do a home pregnancy test. People are aware and they know how to do it. The instructions are given on the kit. So as soon as you miss your periods and you've done a pregnancy test, it's positive, you should visit your doctor as soon as possible, because if you delay in your visit, then you may lose out on that important time which is important for diagnosis of some important problems either in you or in the baby. So you should schedule a visit with your gynecologist as soon as you have a missed period and you have done your pregnancy test and it is positive. How to control nausea and vomiting in second month of pregnancy. See, nausea and vomiting also commonly in local what we call as morning sickness, or it can be evening sickness of pregnancy, is very common in early pregnancy, especially in the first trimester, that is till 14 weeks of pregnancy. There is no sure shot method or medication to complete this to completely stop this nausea and vomiting. However, with some food habits and all and some medication, you can control it to a certain extent so that your life becomes comfortable. First of all, don't hog. Eat small helpings of food at a time. Don't take too much of oily and spicy food. If you have small helpings of food at frequent intervals, don't be empty stomach for longer times. And if your food is bland with less spices, you're going to have less nausea. Advice over here that something dry, maybe a dry toast or a dry biscuit or a dry papad or something crispy and dry will help you alleviate of this nausea. And many a times we advise you and prescribe you some medicines also, like doxylamine, succinate, to help you overcome this nausea. You can take these medicines according to your doctor's advice. In fact, nausea and vomiting is a good sign, as a sign of healthy pregnancy, because a growing pregnancy secretes hormones HCG, which causes this nausea and vomiting. So this is an important symptom of especially first trimester of pregnancy. In fact, in olden days, when no pregnancy tests were available and if the track of menstrual record has not been kept properly, then nausea and vomiting was probably the most important sign that that particular female is pregnant. So don't worry about your nausea and vomiting. Don't think too much about it. Have small frequent meals, eat small helpings at a time, less of oil, less of spices, a blander food, and take the supplements which your doctor gives you. It will help you from nausea and vomiting. However, if you have excessive vomitings, that is repeated vomitings, and you are not able to retain anything solid or liquid, that we call as hyperemesis gravidarum, that is the time you should visit your doctor. Otherwise, you may land up with dehydration and ketosis. Hi doctor, I am 3 months pregnant. I don't like eat sabzi dal. I only like fried things. Tell me, ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है मेरे साथ? See, you are pregnant and the levels of circulating hormones in the body are now different from what they were before. The pregnancy hormones, they cause a lot of nausea, they cause vomiting and lot of taste and smell alterations. Some things in food which you were fond of previously, you may get aversion to those things only. But then it's not good, it's not advisable to eat a lot of fried things, because that will only aggravate your symptoms of nausea and vomiting. Eat a healthy diet, eat a balanced diet. Take helpings of everything. There should be carbohydrates, proteins and fats in your diet. Eat lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. Eat salads, have soup, drink lot of water, maintain adequate hydration. You have to have some sabzi and dal. You can choose upon the vegetables. You can avoid having vegetables in which you feel more nauseated, but then you just cannot stop taking any vegetables and fruits, and avoid fried things. I'm in first trimester, but every evening I'm having gas, bloating issues. Gynec advice Pan-D tablet I'm having, heaviness feeling every evening. Is there a problem in having orange and watermelon? I'm in my first trimester. See, the same thing, gas and bloating issues is because of hyperacidity, because of delayed gastric emptying in pregnancy, and because increased levels of estrogen, progesterone and HCG. You should first try out dietary modifications. Take less of carbohydrates, less of fried things, take smaller helpings of meals. Don't be empty stomach for a long time. Have lot of liquids, have 2 to 3 fruits a day. You can take supplements of doxylamine, succinate. If that is not helping, you can take pantoprazole and domperidone combination. There's no harm in it. You can have oral antacid gels also. You can take oranges and watermelon are good fruits. They are good in antioxidants. They are rich sources of vitamin B complex and vitamin C. And there is no harm in taking. You should take oranges and watermelons. Usually what we traditionally say that there is more of morning sickness in pregnancy, but then especially we have seen that people who are working, who return home late in the evening, so they are tired throughout the day and they have erratic food habits, so there is more of nausea and heavy feeling in the evening. So you can take a dose of doxylamine, succinate, probably around the evening time, maybe 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. and you will feel better. What diet is advisable while planning a pregnancy? There's no specific diet to plan a pregnancy. In fact, whenever you start planning a pregnancy, it is better to start a 5 milligram folic acid tablet to avoid any neural tubal defects and some formative defects in the baby. You should take less of carbohydrates, less of oil, maintain a healthy lifestyle, check that your blood sugars are normal before you plan a pregnancy. There's no specific diet to get pregnant. How to get pregnant fast? There's no method to get pregnant fast. Maintain a healthy lifestyle, start folic acid tablets, and maintain health, keep a normal sexual relationship, you will get pregnant. White fluid flow always occurs. Okay. So we discussed in detail about the most important symptom of first 3 months of pregnancy or initial pregnancy, that is nausea and vomiting. Another important symptom of early pregnancy is white discharge from the vagina. Now in early pregnancy, the baby is growing inside the uterus, the blood flow to the uterus increases and the blood flow to the vagina increases. So there are a lot of secretions from the vagina and from the mouth of the uterus. So that is the reason for so much of mucus and whitish discharge. Another reason is that the hormones, female hormones, that is the levels of estrogen and progesterones also increase. So these are also reason for increased vaginal discharge which comes out. And this is absolutely normal. As far as this is mucoid, it may be transparent or whitish. And but if it gets itchy, if there is redness in the vagina, and if this discharge is smelly or yellowish or brownish, then it is a matter of concern and then you should visit your doctor. But some amount of discharge is always normal. This is my 5th week, 4 days of pregnancy. I had got little spotting and I consulted the doctor and got scan done. The doctor said there is an internal bleeding and she gave me tablets. Is it fine? Okay, so you got a scan done at 5 weeks, 4 days of pregnancy, and your doctor has said that there is an internal clot which is seen, and internal bleeding or any external evident bleeding is never good in pregnancy. That means there is some problem with the pregnancy, or that this pregnancy needs rest and it needs some support. So I cannot say that it is fine, but then definitely it may just resolve. This internal bleeding may resolve, and the bleeding which you are seeing can also stop. So as you have consulted your doctor, you should start the tablets what your doctor is given you, and maybe she would advise you a repeat scan after 2 to 3 weeks to see that baby has grown well and the heartbeat of the baby is there and this clot has resolved. The most important point to see if there is a bleeding in initial weeks of pregnancy is to rule out any ectopic pregnancy. That is, we have to ensure whenever there is bleeding in pregnancy, in early pregnancy, you have to make sure that pregnancy is inside the uterus and that it is not outside the uterus. That is, it is not an ectopic pregnancy, because that can be dangerous for the life of the patient. So if your pregnancy is, as your ultrasound shows, is internal, is inside the uterus, there is some bit of bleeding which should settle. How do I sleep during pregnancy in first trimester? There is no specification of how to sleep in first trimester of pregnancy, first trimester of pregnancy. You can sleep as you like, on left lateral, on your back, on your tummy, on right lateral position. Any way you feel like you can sleep, provided you are physically comfortable in that. There is no specific posture for sleeping in first trimester. At 30 weeks of pregnancy, is it normal to experience slight pain when the baby moves inside the uterus? Okay, I'll take this question. No doubt we were talking about the first pregnancy visit. But at 30 weeks of pregnancy, the baby, uterus is growing, the baby is growing, and sometimes when the baby moves inside the uterus, because of pressure on the uterus, you can experience slight pain when the baby moves, but it is not of concern. But if this pain is very severe, you are uncomfortable, and it keeps on coming repeatedly at regular intervals, then you should visit a doctor. What blood type can reject pregnancy? Okay, so probably you mean to ask what blood types are incompatible with pregnancy. See, if the lady is, that is the mother who is carrying the baby, is she can be of any blood group, either A, B, O or AB. But if she is Rh negative, that is if the rhesus status is negative, and if her partner is positive, if there is a previous history of repeated abortions or Rh immunization, then the female's body can reject the pregnancy in case the baby is positive and the lady is isoimmunized. But these days, when the mother is negative, the father is positive, then during 7th month of pregnancy and again after delivery, if the baby is positive, we give anti-D injections, that is Rh immunoglobulins, to the mother to prevent isoimmunization in further pregnancy. So there is hardly any incidence of rejection because of blood groups in pregnancy. What are the types of pain during pregnancy? See, there is no type of pain. You can have general body aches in pregnancy, you can have pain in the lower abdomen in pregnancy, you can have pain in the upper abdomen in pregnancy. General body aches can be because of vitamin deficiency or calcium deficiency, or sometimes even lack of exercise. The upper abdominal pain can be because of hyperacidity, repeated nausea and too much of vomiting, or you should do an upper abdominal ultrasound to rule out gallbladder stones, because sometimes there is incidence of associated gallbladder stones. If there is pain in lower abdomen, it can either be because of the growing uterus or some contraction in the uterus, or they can be pain because of an associated urine infection. So you should visit your doctor if you are having pain in lower abdomen. The doctor will rule out a urine infection, an infection in the uterus, or they can be pain in the uterus or a labor pain or contractions in the uterus. So that has to be ruled out. So if you are having pain in pregnancy, you should visit your doctor to make sure that everything is normal. How often is considered normal to feel the round ligament pain during the first trimester? Is it safe to have pain for a couple of hours every day? See, it depends how severe the pain is. Some amount of stretching, feeling and discomfort in lower abdomen is quite normal during early pregnancy, because the pregnancy is growing inside the uterus, the blood supply to the uterus is increased, and there is a stretch over all the ligaments of the uterus, out of which round ligament is one of the ligaments. I am suffering from PCOD. I am getting stressful and anxiety dreams, but not related to pregnancy. I think you should de-stress yourself, exercise, meditate, do yoga. That will help you relieve from anxiety. As far as PCOD is concerned, get the important blood test done, get your blood sugars tested and visit your doctor. Maintain a healthy lifestyle, low carbohydrate diet and exercise regularly. That is the most important and only most important treatment for polycystic ovaries. Is orange juice okay to take even feeling bloating issues, and watermelon can be taken? I think it is better to take a whole fruit along with the fiber of the fruit rather than to take juices, because when you're taking juices, the fiber part of the fruit is discarded and so that can lead to constipation, and you'll end up consuming more of sugar and less of beneficial things when you're taking juice. What is a healthy weight gain throughout a healthy pregnancy? See, if your BMI is average between around 20 to 25, then an average weight gain during whole of the pregnancy is around 11 kgs. Around 2 kgs weight gain in the first trimester, that is first 3 months, then around 3 kgs in the next 3 months, and remaining 6 kgs in the last 3 months. The most of the weight gain takes in the last trimester, that is the last 3 months, that is the 7th, 8th and 9th month of pregnancy, because that is the time when baby is growing up. So the baby's weight is adding up, the placenta's weight is adding up, the fluid around the baby is adding up, and then there is lot of fluid retention in the mother's body also, so that is also adding up. So around 11 kgs is the normal weight gain. If the weight gain is excessive, then you should start having some physical activity regularly, and you should cut down on your dietary intake. You should check your blood pressures, because a very high blood pressure also leads to fluid retention and an undue weight gain in pregnancy. I am 20 weeks of pregnancy. Every scan ultrasounds are fine. This is my first pregnancy. I'm 89 kgs. I still do not feel any baby's movements, or maybe I don't know how it feels. Can you give me an idea how that feeling is? But I have low-lying placenta. Okay, so now that you are 20 weeks pregnant, and you know that your ultrasound is normal, so don't worry at all. You'll start having fetal movements. Normally, the females in first pregnancy start perceiving fetal movements, that we call as quickening, from 20 to 22 weeks of pregnancy. So you're just 20 weeks, wait for another 2 to 3 weeks of pregnancy. Then you'll start feeling fetal movements. Exactly, you don't feel a movement, you just feel some bubbling thing in the lower abdomen. You can feel some flickering movement, like something touching and going your anterior part of abdominal wall. So that is how something like some bubbles in the lower abdomen. So that is how a fetal movement feels. You can put your both the hands in the lower part of your tummy, and you can feel that something just touches and goes. Something touches and goes repeatedly. So that is how, that is the feeling you have when the baby moves. Don't worry if the ultrasound shows your baby is fine, then wait for another 2 to 3 weeks. If you don't have any movements by 25 weeks of pregnancy, then better to get a repeat ultrasound done, because there can be some issues with the baby, or there can be some issues with the fluid around the baby, so you should get that checked. I'm in 17th week of pregnancy, taking calcium and iron tablet, but the size of calcium tablet is big, and I have a feel that it is stuck in my throat. Can I chew the tablet and swallow? Yeah, most of the calcium tablets which are available are chewable tablets. Just check on the instructions whether it is chewable or not. You can easily chew it and take some amount of water with it to swallow. There is no issue, but don't worry, the tablet is not going to get stuck in your throat. Don't worry about that. Okay, so I would like to highlight a few points about what all questions your doctor is going to ask you when you visit your doctor for the first time. The most important is your age. You should tell your correct age to your doctor, because age is very important for pregnancy. Age is very important in deciding certain things in your pregnancy. As if you are more than 35 years of age, then your doctor perceives that there can be increased chances of developing high blood pressure in pregnancy, increased chances of having high blood sugar levels in pregnancy, and specific association is increased chances of having certain chromosomal defects in the baby, the incidence of which increases more after 35 years of age. So the age is very important. Secondly, a detailed history about your obstetrics, like that related to your previous pregnancies, if any, is going to be asked. So what all is important, that whether this is your first pregnancy or you had pregnancies in before. If you had previous pregnancies, were those pregnancies carried till the end and you delivered a healthy baby, or you aborted at any stage? Now it is important whether you aborted in first 2 months, 3 months, or whether you aborted after 4th month of pregnancy, because the reason for both these are different, and a related test will be done according to that, and similarly proactive action would be taken accordingly. So you have to tell to your doctor a detailed history. Suppose your previous pregnancy was till the term you delivered a baby. So were there any complications in previous pregnancy, like high blood pressure, that is pregnancy induced blood pressure? You had diabetes, which can be pregnancy induced, whether your thyroid levels are normal or not, whether you had itching or what we call as cholestasis in pregnancy, what was the weight of the baby at the time of delivery, was the fluid level around the baby normal, or whether you had a normal delivery, whether that normal delivery was smooth, or there was some difficulty in the second stage of labor, that is at the time you were about to deliver, whether you needed some instrumental delivery, that is a forceps or a vacuum delivery, and how healthy is your baby, like what is the milestones and what is the mental development of your baby. In case you had a cesarean section, then what was the reason for the cesarean section? Why was this cesarean section done? Whether it was an elective cesarean section for a defined cause, or was it as an emergency cesarean sections for maybe a problem with the heartbeat of the baby, whether your baby had pars meconium, or whether it was a difficult labor, the head was not coming down, the mouth of the uterus was not opening, what we call as a non-progressive labor. So it's important to give a detailed history of your previous pregnancies, whether in this pregnancy, and then second is how were your menstrual cycle, whether you had regular periods, whether your periods were irregular, because that helps in calculation about your menstrual date, your ovulation date, and then your expected date of delivery. Hello, I'm 28 years old. I'm expecting mother and already in my first trimester. I have been taking all my diets and medicines regularly, but yesterday I had a period. Is there some complication? Is periods while pregnancy, first trimester possible? What are the possible? So you are pregnant in your first trimester. If you, we don't call this period. I presume you're saying that you had bleeding in your first trimester. So definitely bleeding in first trimester or any time of the pregnancy is not normal. If you are having bleeding, you should urgently go and visit your doctor and get an ultrasound to confirm that the pregnancy is inside the uterus. And if the pregnancy is inside the uterus, is there any bleeding which is there inside the uterus? Is there any other complication? Is the baby fine or not? Whether the baby has grown properly or not? And whether the heartbeat of the baby is normal or not. So you need to rule out any ectopic pregnancy and need to rule out any other causes of early like that first trimester bleeding. So if you are having bleeding, go to your doctor urgently, because bleeding in any time of the pregnancy is not normal. Okay, so we were discussing about the detailed menstrual history. Now your doctor is going to ask you when was the first day of the last period, that we call as LMP, that is last menstrual period. So you have to tell which date your last period started, not the day on which the last period ended. Whole of the calculation of pregnancy is done from the first day of the last menstrual period, because that is the only date we know. Nobody knows the exact date of ovulation unless and until you are going at treatment for infertility and there is a documented date of ovulation. From calculating, from knowing the last menstrual period, we give a approximate expected date of delivery, which is 40 weeks, that is 280 days from the last menstrual period. The whole period of pregnancy is 280 days, that is 40 weeks of pregnancy. The next important history that your doctor is going to ask you is about your personal history, whether you are working or you are a homemaker. If you're working, what is your working schedule, what type of a profession you are in, because that is important. It helps us know what is the amount of like hours you have to spend in office, whether you're working from home, and what is your traveling time and what is your traveling difference, because too much of travel and jerky travel definitely can cause problem in your early pregnancy, and how much stressed you are in your like working and all, working schedule, how stressful it is. The other important thing is if you are suffering from any medical history, like if you have any history, if you are known hypertensive, if you are a known diabetic, if there is any history of thyroid disorder, if there's any history of heart disease, any breathing problem like bronchial asthma, if you suffer from epilepsy. See, you should give a detailed history of all these problems, if any. If you know of any of these problems you're suffering, to your doctor. You should tell in detail about all the medications you're taking, because all this has a bearing on your pregnancy. There's some medicines like some anti-diabetics and some anti-epileptics which we cannot give in pregnancy. So you are advised to change your medication. You are advised to switch over your to change your medication to a safer medicine which we give in pregnancy. And a blood pressure, a good high blood pressure control and a good diabetes control is also very important in early pregnancy. Especially in early pregnancy, a good blood sugar control is important, because a high blood sugar level definitely increases the chances of congenital formative defects, which we call as congenital malformation in the baby. So if you are a known diabetic, you should get your blood sugars and a glycosylated hemoglobin, that is HbA1c, tested. And then like you should visit your doctor as soon as you miss your period. In fact, if you are a known diabetic and you're planning pregnancy, you should, as it is, visit your gynecologist and your physician even when you start planning pregnancy, so that your blood sugars are absolutely within normal level. Your HbA1c is normal, preferably around below or around 6, so that when you conceive, the chances of getting congenital malformations in the baby is the least. If you are taking any medication, especially I would like to say young girls who are having a lot of acne, so sometimes they are visiting skin specialists who are prescribing them high doses of vitamin A, that is retinoic acid, for their acne. So the doctors always tell them that tell your doctor that you are planning pregnancy, because such high doses of vitamin A are not advisable in early pregnancy or in peri-pregnancy period, because they can also induce congenital malformation. So you should always tell the doctor about all the medications you are taking. If you have undergone any previous surgeries, if you have any drug allergies, if you suffer from bronchial asthma or anything. Another important thing is a detailed family history is also asked from the patient. Like suppose if your parents suffer from a particular disease, if your mother is a thalassaemic minor, then you can also be a thalassaemic minor. If there's any family history of any mentally retarded child in the family, any genetic disorder or something, all this can have a bearing on your present pregnancy also. An important thing is if your first child is having any genetic syndrome or any malformation, you should always share with your doctor, because that can be a genetic syndrome related to your genes which can recur in this pregnancy also. So the first baby also needs a detailed testing, and once specified, this pregnancy will also need testing to know that everything is fine with the baby. We have a few questions over here. I had a miscarriage at 19 weeks due to internal loss got open and my emergency cerclage failed. What should I accept for my next pregnancy? What kind of treatment I should take? See, if you miscarried at 19 weeks because of opening of internal loss, then you have probably an incompetent os. That is, the mouth of the uterus, which is known as os, is not able to retain your pregnancy. So as soon as you reached that 5th month of pregnancy, it gave way, it opened, and you aborted. And an emergency cerclage was done, which was probably the best possible option your doctor could give at that time. However, when you plan your next pregnancy, your doctor would advise you and give you a prophylactic, not an emergency, but a preventive, that is called as prophylactic cerclage at around 14 weeks of pregnancy. Once the doctor sees that the baby is normal, there is no specific formative defects in the baby, and the placenta has formed, and the dual marker, that is to rule out any chromosomal test, is normal, then a prophylactic, that is a preventive cerclage, is given at 14 weeks of pregnancy, and you would be given some medicines to keep your uterus relaxed, hormone supplementation to maintain a good supply to the uterus and prevent uterine contractions. So this is how you should go about it. I am 13 weeks pregnant, overweight, 84 kgs, 5'6", 28 years old. I have placenta anterior wall, low-lying placenta, Please tell me what will happen next. I'm worried, my ultrasounds are perfectly fine. And when can I feel my baby? Doc told me not to travel or exercise, but now what will happen in low-lying placenta? See, at 13 weeks of pregnancy, the size of the uterus is not that big, and many a times you see the placenta is larger, and it appears that it is in the lower segment also. So wait for your further ultrasounds. The next ultrasound would be done at around 20 weeks of pregnancy. Probably you will find that now the placenta is upper segment, so there is nothing to worry absolutely about your low-lying placenta. In case the placenta remains persistently low-lying, then you may be advised a repeat ultrasound at 28 weeks and then at 36 weeks, and then your doctor is going to decide your mode of delivery accordingly. Till your ultrasound shows that it is low-lying placenta, it is advisable not to travel. A mild exercise or regular walks is advisable, but don't exercise vigorously. I will have to change my doctor in the last month because of relocation. Mine is IUI baby. Shall I tell my new doctor that the baby is conceived via IUI, or it doesn't matter? You should never hide any history of any form, whether it is like any medical history from your doctor. Whether it is an IUI conception, whether it is an IVF conception, or whether it is a natural conception. Don't hide anything from your doctor. Tell your history in detail. Show all your previous prescriptions, because every small detail carries importance for your pregnancy and for your doctor for further management of your pregnancy. Okay, so one more thing I would like to emphasize is that what are the supplements we give in when you come to your doctor for the first visit. So when you come to your doctor for the first visit, the most important thing that the doctor prescribes you is a folic acid supplementation. So a tablet of folic acid, which is 5 milligram folic acid tablet, which we give, which is advised to you, is very important, because folic acid levels, if maintained in the blood, helps prevent the neural tube defects, that is spina bifida and anencephaly in the baby, which is most important to be supplemented in first 3 months of pregnancy. That is why we advised you to visit a doctor as soon as you know that you are pregnant. You may be advised some medication to alleviate of your nausea and vomiting, and considering your history accordingly, you may be given some progesterone tablet also to support your pregnancy. As far as your lifestyle is concerned, you should maintain a healthy lifestyle. You should go for regular walks, regular yoga, do deep breathing exercises. You should eat a healthy food. Don't overeat. Avoid eating outside. Eat lot of fresh fruits. Eat lot of vegetables, and get all the blood tests and ultrasounds, whatever your doctor is advising. Normally, in case you don't have any lower abdominal pain or there is no bleeding in early pregnancy, then your doctor normally advises you first ultrasound at around 7 weeks of pregnancy to ensure that pregnancy is inside the uterus and the heartbeat of the baby is calm. This is known as a dating ultrasound, because after this ultrasound, your doctor will be able to give you a final expected date of delivery. In case you have severe cramping pain or you have bleeding in pregnancy, then you might need to go in ultrasound before 6 to 7 weeks of pregnancy also, to rule out any ectopic pregnancy. There will be a list, rather a battery of tests given to you to be done in the after the first visit of pregnancy. Don't be afraid of these tests. These tests are done routinely on every pregnant patient, and this helps to rule out any medical illness that the mother is suffering from, because this has a bearing on the pregnancy. So this basically, the first visit is to ensure a healthy mother so that she can carry a healthy pregnancy. The important blood tests which are advised are a complete blood count to know the hemoglobin, to rule out anemia in the mother, because if the hemoglobin level of mother is low, then there will be so many complications in the pregnancy and baby will not be able to grow well. The second is, the most important is the blood group. As I told you, if the blood group is negative, then we have to do further tests. The routine viral markers like HIV, hepatitis B, hepatitis C is done. Syphilis is ruled out by doing a TPHA or a VDRL or a RPR test. Then your thalassemia screening test also we are doing routinely by doing a hemoglobin electrophoresis. Because if you have that hemoglobin defect, which we call as thalassemia, So you are a thalassemic minor. The symptoms except anemia will not be evident, but in case your partner, your husband is also thalassemic minor, then there are chances of your baby which you are carrying being thalassemic major, which becomes a major medical illness in the baby. So in case your partner is also thalassemic minor, then you are sent to a fetal medicine specialist or a genetic specialist for further testing for the baby to ensure that everything is fine with the baby. Routine blood sugar test in early pregnancy is mandatory because high blood sugars, as I told you, are not good in early, especially in early pregnancy. And we do a routine thyroid hormone testing also, because thyroid hormone is very important for a physical and mental development of the baby. And if your TSH levels are high, that means your thyroid hormone levels are low, then thyroid hormone supplementation is done in early pregnancy. So don't hesitate to go to your doctor. It is better to go to a doctor as soon as you test your pregnancy and it is positive, and follow your doctor's advice. Get the ultrasound scans and get all the blood tests done as advised by your doctor. So we now know that a good antenatal care is most important step in having a healthy pregnancy and a healthy baby. Congratulations for your pregnancy. Visit your doctor as soon as you test positive for pregnancy or you have a missed period, and you can always go to your doctor and go for a confirmation at the hospital itself. Follow a healthy lifestyle, stop smoking, stop drinking. As soon as you know that you are pregnant, please stop smoking and stop drinking. Inform your doctor in detail about any medical history, about any gynecological or previous obstetric history. Carry all the detailed records of any previous medical illness and make a detailed list of all your queries and ask your doctor at the first visit only. Okay. One more thing I would like to is the urine pregnancy test kits which we get in the market. These are known as home pregnancy tests, which we do with pregnancy, are very sensitive, and they can be done as early as 1 or 2 days of missed periods. In case it is negative at that time, you can wait for 2 to 3 days and repeat it. This is 99% accurate. However, if there is irregular periods and this pregnancy test keeps on coming negative, or you start having bleeding after a missed period, then you can go in for a blood test, which is we call as a HCG, beta HCG blood test. And a rising levels of beta HCG assure you that you are pregnant and that your pregnancy is growing well. So I think that's all for today's Facebook live session. I wish you all the best for your pregnancy, and take your supplements, maintain a healthy lifestyle, and visit your doctor regularly. Thank you.